everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and today I'm back with a video on unique ways that you can source to get your inventory maybe at a cheaper cost, or maybe just a different way than, you know, the thrift stores or the Goodwill bins. Those are like the most common ways that like everyone knows about, but there are way more ways to source out there that you might not even think about, that you could actually get inventory that is really, really good or just better overall. So hopefully you enjoy this video and hopefully you learn something from it, and make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss a future video that I do here on this channel. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to talk about that I thought was a great tip, especially with the upcoming spring and summer seasons, is garage sales and yard sales. So honestly, I've had some really good finds from garage sales and yard sales in my neighborhoods, and I also know other people in other states that have good luck with them as well. So you could really find good pieces. Sometimes people are just looking to get rid of things for like $1 or maybe a couple dollars, and they might actually have some really good pieces. So if you get there early enough, like a lot of times they start really early, and I know me, I'm not a morning person, but like if you're a morning person, this should be no problem for you. But typically you'll find the better pieces if you get there really early. Sometimes they'll have clothing, sometimes they'll have handbags, and sometimes they'll even have like other things. Like if you sell not just clothing and handbags, but like electronics or, you know, different things like that, like books maybe. There's a lot of things out there that you can sell that have really good value that you could find at a like garage sale or yard sale. People just look to get rid of things sometimes, so really just keep your eye out because you can find really, really good pieces, and a lot of my good thrifts have actually been from a garage sale or a yard sale. And the other thing that you can do is you could also message if you find a lot of good things at that person's place, you could also keep in touch with them. I actually had someone I kept in touch with for years who, she would just message me whenever she had handbags available again, and I would then, purchase them from her for like a discounted price. But I just found it to be really, really helpful to kind of keep in touch with that person, because then it was just kind of a good way to get inventory whenever she had items available, and they were also in really good condition. The next great way to source your inventory that maybe you didn't think about is Facebook Marketplace. So Facebook Marketplace is another great way to source because you could find, again, really good pieces that people are just looking to get rid of. People post things on Facebook or even just like Facebook groups like of getting rid of things, and they just don't want to have to deal with it themselves. They don't want to have to like dispose of them or donate them or anything like that. So really keep your eye out. But again, those kind of things go really fast, kind of like the garage sales. You have to be very proactive about it because things that get posted to Facebook or Facebook Marketplace, they tend to go really fast if they're good pieces. So you kind of have to be quick, but you can find some really good gems. I've found some designer bags and things like that on Facebook, so definitely keep your eyes open and join those groups in your community if you can. That will really help you as well. One thing I wanted to add is when you're on Facebook Marketplace or you're in these Facebook groups, if you turn on notifications on Poshmark to be notified when someone posts something, you're more likely to get it. I know me personally, I've missed things because I just wasn't fast enough, and people get things within like a minute or less than a minute of them being posted. So turn on your notifications and you will definitely be one of the first to see those posts. Now that's if you have time, because not all of us have time to sit there on Facebook all day looking for inventory. And also, kind of off of that one, but another great way to source is actually just other platforms in general. So you can source on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, what other platform makes sense for you, whatnot, anything like that. And I mean, I know I sell things for $3 in live shows, and I know a lot of people that actually end up just taking my items and selling them, and I'm totally okay with that. So you can definitely get things cheap on platforms, and depending on like what the shipping or the fees are, you could really get away with getting items really cheap, and especially when you bundle, it's really beneficial to do. So don't be afraid to kind of go on other platforms. Now, this is not an open invitation to send people like crazy low offers just because you want to buy and source inventory from them, but look out for those people that are genuinely trying to sell their items cheap, like myself, who I'm okay with selling things for cheap in live shows because I can. A lot of people can't do that, and don't take advantage of everyone on the platform because not everyone wants to sell things that cheap. But you can definitely source on different platforms and you can get really good pieces doing that. Another great way to source, kind of like the garage sales tip, is actually just going to like church yard sales or church events or things like that. I know a lot of people that do this, so I figured I'd put it in the video and I knew it would be helpful for someone. But a lot of times, like, people have like these really big church sales or like, even like estate sales or things like that. So definitely keep your eye open in your town or your community, and you can find some really good pieces doing this. This next one may be obvious, but actually a lot of people don't realize that you can source this way, is just reaching out to your friends and family and asking them if they have pieces they want to get rid of. Because I know me, I have a lot of friends and family that give me items that they're looking to get rid of, and I sell it for them, and I get a portion of the profits and they get a portion of the profits. But again, it's an easy way to get inventory sometimes, and a lot of the times they're good pieces if your friends and family have good style. But again, it's a great way to get pieces and you don't have to pay up for them. All you have to do is kind of just split the profits however you decide, and you can really do it in a way that really fits your business. So that's a great way to kind of get pieces, and maybe even quicker than like going to the Goodwill and thrift stores. Another great way to get inventory is ordering from like mystery boxes online. So there's so many different ways and sites that you can get mystery boxes and bundles and things like that for really good prices. So don't be afraid to kind of like go out there and look at what mystery boxes are available and see what you can really get. You'll be surprised at what is in those mystery boxes. A lot of the times they're just a bunch of good and bad pieces mixed together, so you kind of have to sort through. Maybe on certain pieces you might have to take the L, but yeah, it's definitely a good way to source, and don't be afraid to get mystery boxes. They're also sometimes just fun because you don't know what you're getting. Also, sorry if you heard my heat just went on. I'm not sure how loud that is. Again, I'm not used to this new setup, so if it's really loud in the video, I'm sorry. I will note that going forward. I'll make sure I turn that off before I film. But yeah, if you hear that in the background, I'm so sorry. The video's not going to be that much longer, so hopefully you can bear with me for the rest of the time. Okay, the last kind of different way that you can source that I wanted to talk about, which I've always been curious myself, and I kind of want to do this, but I've never done it. Let me know down below if you've done something like this. You can order, you know, like returned item boxes from stores, or you can get undelivered mail, and sometimes you can find really good pieces in this. So you have to go through like trusted sources, and again, it could be really just fun because you don't know what you're gonna get, but you have to kind of realize that maybe it might not be worth it because maybe certain pieces aren't gonna sell like for the, you know, a good price. But again, it's just a cool and unique way to sell. I'd say this is best if you're on a platform that you sell multiple categories and not just clothing, because a lot of the times these returns or these lost mail things are kind of different pieces. They're not just clothes. I would be a little bit more likely to do this kind of option if I sold a lot of different categories and not just clothes. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully you learned something from this video, and let me know which different way you're gonna try and source if you haven't done any of these already, or if you have done some of these, let me know your favorite way to source down below. If you want to see another video on reasons why your listings aren't selling and what you can do to fix them, you can click right here. And if you want to see another video on 7 things I learned in 7 years of reselling on Poshmark, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.